Hey everyone and welcome. What do you do when people don't believe your alarmism? What do you do when you've been screaming from the rooftops and no one believes a word of it because you don't back it up with facts? What do you do when you've got so much money that you're living in a nice fancy house while telling people that are living in hovels that they should do with less? While you're sat in a house that looks air conditioned, that looks like it's powered by electricity, that looks lavish, but he's going to tell you what to do.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Now, obviously, I'm talking about a climate alarmist, because it all seems to be the rich people trying to tell the poor people that they're being naughty for being poor. And how dare you go on a flight across the world? That's for us, not you. Well, this is what happens when nobody listens to these self-appointed, entitled wazzocks. They explode in the mind and go on a verbal tirade that just shows how immature and ridiculous these people are. Let's have a watch, shall we?
I'd like to address yet another goddamn fucking stupid Republican talking point that is destroying our world about climate change. But before I do, I want to address my own caustic attitude and tone. I don't like it. I don't like talking like this. I don't like being like this.
Now think to yourself while you watch this, everyone. I know I'm cutting in. Think to yourself, how many children have you seen lying on the floor or in a shop or in the supermarket screaming like a baby because they're not being bought the sweets that they want or a toy that they want that's really expensive and the mother can't do it, so they throw a tantrum. This is exactly what this is, and this is a grown man.
Person, I prefer to see the best in people and relate to people through common humanity, even when we disagree. But these devices and these platforms are being...
There should be no but there, but there you go. I love everybody, apart from everybody that isn't me. Oh, sorry, that sounded like sabble, didn't it? I apologise for that. Let's continue. We'll put that under the rug.
Being used by radical Republicans to destroy and undermine our democracy and environment, so I am going to spit truth right back at them. In this case, yes, it is true that the climate does naturally change. 12,000 years
There you go. He said it in his own words. It naturally changes.
Ago, the end of the last ice age allowed humans to proliferate through the world. But it's also true that humans affect climate, you fucking morons! It is possible to have a morning and an afternoon. Yes, nature causes wildfires, and it's also true that if you pour gasoline on fires, you make it worse. In the case of the climate, we have 8 billion people on the planet. We have never seen anything like this in the history of humanity.
And yet, we're finding the resources to supply everything that's needed to those 8 billion people. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, what they're actually going on about. If it's so bad that we've got 8 billion people in the world, how can we still provide everything that they need? How? How is that possible if the resources are running out?
In the last 100 years, we have quadrupled our population. Prior to that, we had never doubled in 100 years. From 0 to 1,500, we didn't even double, and that was under 500 million people. All of our Western paradigms, all of our Eastern paradigms, all of our religious paradigms are based on a world that doesn't exist anymore, you fucking idiots!
Anger issues.
We have never seen anything like 8 billion humans consuming, using resources, creating waste. We are having a dramatic effect on our own home.
Nice home though, isn't it, everyone? Haven't you got a nice home?
We say environment, it's not some woo-woo liberal thing. It's our fucking house.
Your house is massive by the look of that. Maybe you should downsize into a one-bedroom, actually a bedsit. Actually, live in a fucking pod. It's always you that has to change, not them. Have you noticed? I guarantee he's driving around in a bloody Tesla as well, thinking that he's doing the planet a favour, when it takes very little knowledge and research to find out that electric vehicles are worse than petrol ones in their lifetime, and they're worse from day dot because of all of the mining and things that has to happen by children to supply this fraggle with a way to be able to beat others over the head, because let's be honest, that's what a Tesla is.
We depend on it to survive, so no, We don't want to burn it down. Wake up!
Very angry, wasn't he? This is what happens when your whole ideology is based around bull crap. And nobody believes you anymore. Because one, you're all a bunch of nutcases that do really weird shit like spray buildings with colour and and snooker tables and tennis matches, you weirdos. And two, because you like to stand on a soapbox, don't you, and scream at others that you're morally higher up than they are. And we go, no you're not, you're just some guy in a really, really hairy t-shirt, you could have wiped yourself down before going on camera, you fraggle, in a massive house telling people that everybody else is doing it wrong. Hypocrites, every last one, and this is why they're not believed anymore. Stay sane. Rant over for him. I wasn't ranting, I was just having a laugh. Stay sane, I'll see you on the next one.